he's kind of a tweener guy. You know, he's a big backer, and we thought that he could bring us an element of speed off the edge in terms of pass rush, and it could be a good fit for him because you know, obviously, you know, he's in the same year eligibility-wise as Fish and Compton, and you know, we had Levante coming back, so it's an opportunity to get our best players on the field.
I think he's faking an injury here, so he doesn't have Is there less thinking and more thinking from where he was to where he went?
It's different. There's probably just as much thinking in terms of playing D-line as there is linebacker. Obviously, you don't have all the coverage aspects, but there's some coverage stuff you have to do. But in terms of fits on blocks and how to play your technique, you know, there's a lot. There's a pretty significant learning curve for any defensive lineman. So, you know, going into this thing, he was, you know, eyes wide open, and he's done a fairly good job. I think he's probably about 10 pounds heavier than he was. He has to physically be able to hold up there. So I'd like to see him continue to eat and lift like a lineman.
Is that spot for him a situational thing, or do you envision him becoming an every down defensive end, which would you see him going?
I see him being an every down player for us. You know, we wouldn't have moved him there if it was just situational. He has an opportunity to be an every down guy for us.
Your top defensive lines, right?
You know, if you take Cameron out of the mix, you would say it's Ankara, Eric, Josh Williams, Walker Ashburn. Those four would be the top.
Does the role of that position change at all at the end, move into a conference that tends to run the ball a little bit more than the Big 12?
You know, to an extent. You know, there are some teams in the Big Ten that are more run-oriented, but, you know, that's not necessarily true across the board. That's more of an image that the league carries, but, you know, there's a lot of teams that like to spread it out and run the ball and like to spread it out and throw it. So it's not you know, all 3 yards is a cloud of dust in that league.
How far away is Terrence Moore from getting to the level, conditioning-wise, where he can be a regular contributor?
Coming off the injury, you're saying? You know, the injury and the lack of an off-season for him certainly probably holds him back a little bit. But he's getting close. You know, we've had close to now 3 full weeks of spring ball, so I would think he's pretty close.
Seems to have been pretty motivated this spring, getting himself caught back up with the rest of the
Yeah, you know, I mean, Terrence is a hard worker and a prideful guy, so I think he's ready to kind of regain some role.
You guys started working with kick returning yet?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's just nice to get some of the guys have been working on returns.
You know, it's really, we got a bunch of guys back there trying to get a feel for who's going to be the guys. You know, Brandon Kenny has been back there. He did some last year, obviously. You know, with Kenny Bell and Quincy Anunwa, Paul Turner, Stanley Baptiste, Josh Mitchell. We kind of got a bunch of guys back there and trying to figure out who at the end of the day is going to be the guys, but we have a long time to come to
Tim Marlowe still in?
Tim Marlowe still in there.
When you're out there.
But yeah, we had a bunch of guys, and we're kind of just rolling through, seeing who's going to step up and take it.
With the injuries this spring to the defensive line, how does that affect the position?
You know, I hate the fact that we've had some guys injured, but that's the nature of the sport. And at the end of the day, what it does is present opportunities to other people to step up and try to grab hold of their opportunities. And you know, that's something we talk about every day. You only get so many opportunities in life, and when you get them, you got to grab them.
How are you guys handling the special teams coaching this year with new faces on staff? Is it a joint effort, or are you in charge of it, or how's that work?
No, it's very similar to how it's been in the past. You know, ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, I'm in charge of it from a logistical perspective, but everybody's participating. Ross Ells does a good job. Rich Fisher does a good job. Ron Brown does a good job. Corey Raymond does a good job. So we got a bunch of guys participating, and you know, someone has to kind of spearhead the effort. But those guys do a lot of the work.
What's the transition of Eric
You know, I think it's difficult from the perspective that you got to learn a whole new skill set. But I also believe that based on what his strengths are, it suits his abilities. So although it's a difficult transition, he's been able to do it fairly seamlessly because I think it does suit his strengths.
Is he just getting too big for linebacker?
I don't think so.
Go ahead and get bigger and come join him?
Yeah, I think what it was we're just trying to find, just like we did. The great analogy I would give is a year ago we played Peso only because Eric Hague was a good player and we didn't want to take him off the field. That's the same with Eric Martin. We didn't move him from linebacker to defensive end because he wasn't a good linebacker. We moved him there because we thought, how do we get our best 11 on the field?
This kind of guy, a good role model, just translate to explosiveness off that position or off that. Is he better pass rush? Is he better run stop? What's he going to do?
Well, initially, I think instinctively you would think he'd be a better pass rusher. But what he has brought to the table is a great physicality in the running game. So, I'm excited in every aspect. He can do both. Yeah, he's a physical back.
Who do you think right now? I don't know if you guys aren't in the depth charts that you guys are, but
He's running with the first group, so that doesn't necessarily mean he's either a starter or going to be a starter, but he is running with the ones. And that changes. We kind of fluctuate the depth chart as we go, but right now he's doing a nice job.
I didn't. Maybe you've heard it, but I couldn't hear. Chase Rome. Where's he at these days? Or
He's out of practice. But in terms of injury, it's only Bo will handle the injury.
okay, all right.
I do have one more.